Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my latest review of the latest freaking death episode of Hannibal. I swear, this week on a new episode of Emily Vlogs about shows that compromise her emotionally and psychologically and spiritually, and she keeps watching them no matter how much it hurts inside. And I'm on allergy medicine and my stomach hurts from this show. This is the episode where everything hit the fan, okay? We've been dancing around and flirting with the darkness all this time, and now we are there. We are in the thick of the shadows, and just when we felt like things couldn't get any more crazy. Maybe we did. Maybe we are just, going deeper and deeper into the insanity to the point that it is limitless, and we can accept that even if we can't deal with it. We just know it's gonna get crazier and we still crave more. I don't know what's wrong with us. I swear, us Fannibals, us Hannibal addicts, we are indeed addicts. This is like a drug. We just keep getting in deeper and into the harder stuff, and every single episode is like a gateway to a new horrific experience of the soul. I hope I'm not alone here in the complete and utter crisis that I am in right now. I am seriously at a loss for what to say other than that, the seduction of Hannibal and Will, it would almost seem complete, and yet there's another step that we've got to take, because Will is inevitably, he is on the cusp of knowing absolutely everything. Despite his encephalitis, he is on the cusp of having his entire world broken open before him in the reality that is embodied in Hannibal. And the question is he going to fit with Hannibal's design? Does Hannibal feel any sense of regret over the clear loss of control that he has, or perhaps he is still in control and this is what he wanted? He's been talking all along about the fire, and he's gonna put it out when the time comes, and he tells his doctor, his psychiatrist Bedelia, that he doesn't want to step back in his relationship with Will. He still intends on going as far as he possibly can, and at what point, is the ground going to be non-existent beneath him? It's like that classic cartoon moment, where it's like they run off the cliff and they just kind of sit there, and then they look down, and they look at the camera and just like, oh, okay then, and then everything and then suddenly gravity clicks and we're going down. This episode was incredibly complex, and yet what it boils down to is that everyone is controlling everyone and yet protecting, and it's just, nobody's relationships are healthy. Not to say that anybody was, previously on solid ground here, okay? We've been skirting the quicksand all this time, seeing with everyone's interactions, but now everything is on the line. Seriously, I was seriously considering making like a flow chart, just like, okay, or putting everyone's names down and connecting the dots and just breaking everything down, looking at relationship to relationship. Will is on the edge. We see him, he feels more stable than he has in a long time, and yet and then he comes to yet another breaking point as he is trying to push, his new theory that all these murders are connected. That makes Jack freak out. He goes to Hannibal. He thinks that Hannibal's hiding something. He goes to Bedelia, and Bedelia is she is clearly hiding a hell of a lot, and I hope that we get to go even further into that. I had a feeling, based on what some other people were suggesting to me, that she's protecting Hannibal, and that this patient, to choked on his tongue and this whole attack thing, you know, that Hannibal is behind that. And it's, you know, at what point do you stop protecting the people you care about? Or at what point, like, did you ever care? And is this really protecting, or are you just tucking these people into the hothouse of your grand scheme? You know, I have so many questions and hurts inside, and honestly, this is probably going to be my worst and most non-helpful or enlightening review ever because I, like, seriously, my stomach hurts. Like, what is this? How are they supposed to top this? Where are we supposed to go? Like, how much longer can Will even be in the picture? Is Abigail gonna stick around? Because at the very end, I was watching the episode on Hulu, and it cut off really suddenly at the end, and like, you know how at the, like, when you're done watching an episode on, like, Netflix or Hulu, like, all of a sudden, like, when it gets to the credit screen, like, the screen's like this big, and it's like, you might like to watch, and I just wanted to throw the TV out the window, because, like, no, I don't want to watch any of this. I don't want to deal with anything else other than, like, what is right in front of me. Tell me what is going to happen, okay? And nobody gets hurt, potentially, besides myself and everyone around me who tries to communicate with me as I'm dealing with this pain. Yeah, so we're entering the final acts of the Will Hannibal seduction, and you know, he tells Hannibal tells Abigail at the very end, you know, he's like, I'm sorry that I couldn't protect you, and I wonder if to some extent if he feels the same way about Will at all, because you know, it's just such a mess, like. And yet, it's all part of this sickeningly enormous and grandiose scheme. And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about if you've been, you know, keeping track of all the interactions and everything that's going along. Hannibal all this time has been conditioning everyone around him to see Will as killer, and in the same time is trying to prime Will to be that killer. And so, you know, but what is it exactly that Hannibal intends to do in framing Will? You know, is he hoping that it will convince Will that all along it's been him, that this darkness to him, it is an integral part of him that Will, or that Hannibal has just been bringing out of him? You know, the natural tone of his person, it's just ridiculous. What to say? I mean, you know, like, Hannibal is the freaking ringleader. He is the master puppeteer, and he's got all his marionettes dangling around, and he's just kind of moving everyone and resituating everyone. Question, is he going to kill Abigail? Do you guys think? Because, you know, it's like he's holding her face and you know, holding her close. He's like, I'm sorry, and it's like she's not moving. It's like she knows that this is over. So I can't imagine that she's gonna make it out alive. I mean, I can't imagine Hannibal trying to go forward with Will, with Abigail still in the picture. He's, you know, he's apologizing to her, so it seems like her end is nigh. And I just wonder how in control of things he feels with Will, because clearly, you know, Will's catching on to the fact that the copycat killer, aka Hannibal, BFF, is, you know, was trying to frame him. And just the interactions, everything was so complex. Like, we've had all of these, not so much loose ends, but these different aspects of the story being introduced, and all of a sudden they all fuse together in this episode. It's like this nuclear fission, and like, now we're just left awash in this, trying to figure out what is going to become of our poor freaking Will Graham. How much longer is he, you know, is he going to buy into the seduction now that he knows? I mean, for all intents and purposes, he knows. And for those of you who have read the books, you know, how much does what's going on right now correlate with those? And what do you think that we might expect for next season? Because I, being innocent and naive to the ways of the series and, you know, slowly starting to piece it together myself, I just have no idea what to think right now and to imagine where things are going to go, other than that, you know, it all depends on, we saw the preview for next week, And Hannibal, you know, asks Will, like, would it feel good for you to kill me now? And so the question is not whether he's going to kill Hannibal, because we know that Hannibal is somehow still in control of this whole situation, and it's like everything is his little experiment. You know, like he tells Abigail explicitly that he was curious to see what would happen when he instigated this hell, okay? And it's just, what now? Who is he intending to keep in the picture? What is he intending to, you know, because it's like he says it's all about curiosity. So does he have an end game in mind, or is it just, you know, I just want to see what happened, and, you know, if things just so happen to work out and I get like a killer best friend, then, you know, that's cool and we can just do stuff together. It's like, does he even want Will to be that partner of his, or is he, you know, is he kind of experimenting, like trying to see, you know, how others might possibly come to the place that he is? You know, how much longer is Bedelia going to be in the picture? Because clearly there is much that is hidden there. It almost seems as if like the sessions that they've had together have been staged in some sense, you know, because like I remember Hannibal asking or talking to Bedelia about the patient who attacked her as though it were not him. But let's be real, you know, we know that this is only very thinly veiled, the fact that he was behind that. And so just what does he intend, or is he just testing everything to destruction? And if it all erupts, then where will he be? You know, what is the purpose to this? I think that that's what is driving me the craziest right now, is trying to figure out the purpose of it all, or perhaps there is no purpose. Gosh, as soon as I'm done making this review, I'm going to go escape into the loving arms of the Tumblr Hannibal fandom and try to laugh and cry and, God. So do you guys have sympathy for Abigail? You know, like she is portrayed in some lights as a victim, in other lights, you know, as a freaking sociopath, and it's so horrifically sad. Like there are times where I'm just like, God, that sucks to be used so much. Like, clearly you never wanted any of that. And then there's part of me that's just like, you've got to go. Like, this is simply unsustainable. And yeah, you know, I think it's a very interesting choice, of course, you know, to leave us with that cliffhanger as to whether or not she is still going to be in the picture, because now there is such, the complexities of the relationship between Will and Abigail have been upped through the ceiling. You know, he has these deeply intimate moments with her, and it's like there seems to be a part of her that is blaming him, that distrusts him, that feels unsafe, you know, and we have those splits between reality, of course, as we're kind of getting back into Will's head and he's starting to break down, you know, trying to figure out, like, is Abigail worth protecting? Is protecting her something that is sustainable for him mentally and emotionally? What comes from it? Is it nothing, you know, is it reaping nothing but hell, or is there's something that he can accomplish and heal in himself by protecting her? It is just a mess. Like, the complexities are absolutely crazy, and I keep saying that without like fully fleshing everything out, because it's just, we all see it there, but it's so hard to verbalize. It's just this freaking machine, and I am by no means minded like an engineer, you know. I'm just sitting here like, how is this happening? How is this my life that I am putting up with this devastating show? Yeah, so please, by all means, fill in the blanks of, you know, my mad ravings here with your own thoughts and reactions and predictions and the patterns and things that you see. You know, I ultimately am just trying to figure out how in control Hannibal really feels, because in Mads Mikkelsen's acting is just so intricate. You can see him where he is physically uncomfortable. We can start to see the mask kind of peeling back in some ways, and yet at other times he is completely unreadable. Speaking of Mads Mikkelsen, I just watched a phenomenal movie on Netflix Instant Play just the other day. A Royal Affair. It was a Golden Globe / Academy Awards nominated for Best Foreign Film of the Year, and it is starring Mads Mikkelsen alongside a very stellar cast looking at. And it's interesting because for those of you who have seen it, the character that Mads plays, you know, this German doctor who enters into the kingdom of Denmark, and he is, you know, he's the personal physician for the crazy king, and he, you know, I won't say too much more, but he's in a position where he is manipulating the king actually to spread Enlightenment ideals. So I think it's interesting how Mads is constantly playing these very manipulative, cunning characters. And, you know, for those of you who are, you know, native English speakers, if you don't mind some subtitles, it is a phenomenal watch and very, very moving, and a very, you know, I kept thinking of the parallels between that and Hannibal, so you guys should totally see that and leave your thoughts below to that respect. Yeah, it's just, what else is there to say, you know? Like, is this machine haphazard in nature? Is it built to self-destruct? Or is there something, you know, I keep saying this word, but is there something sustainable? Is there something that can last, that will go into the long run? What is it exactly that Hannibal needs? Does he feel that he's losing a companion, or is this the next inevitable step in this dark dance with the devil that's been going on all this time? So leave your thoughts. I'm desperately just trying to grasp onto everything that happened in this episode, you know, all the veiled friendships and connections and manipulations and everyone. It's like this big, dark, beautiful, well done, like, not so much a soap opera, but yet at the same time it is, because this was so much about the relationships between everyone. And I think it was kind of cool how we got to see, you know, the investigators, you know, the crime team analyzers, you know, getting together and trying to figure out, you know, what leaps Will's mind is making, and you know, what stage of the madness is he in, and what do you guys think? Just help me out, because I'm trying to feel better about this and I can't. So thank you guys so much for watching and tracking with me as I just sit here and freak out and say, what is the point of life? You guys are amazing and phenomenal, and I will be keeping in touch with you in the comments. Also check out my new review of The Man of Steel, and I will be bringing some more Dexter reviews as well, as there's like no time. I'm gonna have no time to recover from the end of the show and then the beginning of the end of Dexter and Breaking Bad, and it's just, no, I don't want any of it. So, and how are you guys sympathizing with Hannibal? You know, I feel like we are continuing to be distanced from him. It's almost like we ourselves have been kind of seduced by him all this time. And now as we're like sitting here and watching what's going on with Will, it's like, I'm out, or are we just gonna kind of keep on dancing until the world ends over here? I mean, help me out. I am all kinds of at a loss, and I mostly just want to go to bed, but I have to go to work tonight, and I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. TV. Don't watch it. It will enter your soul and reroute your understanding of everything, and it's no fun. It's not entertainment. This is like life trauma, and the weight of the world is on top of me, and I wouldn't have it anywhere else. So, here we go. Let me know what you guys thought. Reactions of all kinds. Who are you? Are you siding with anyone, or are you just kind of as lost as I am? Because if so, good bless you. We'll be there together, and I will hold you. And I'm actually kind of losing my voice now, so I'm just gonna go lay down and self-destruct for a little while. So take care, y'all, and leave your thoughts, and I'll respond to them if in fact I am still alive. So take care if you can. AKA stop watching the show, except don't. Alright, I'm gonna go before I die.